Simon, having Neil in at the club on Tuesday, can you just talk us through how that played out?
Oh, look, it was perfect timing for us. He's such an inspiration to us in so many ways, obviously being a Melbourne person, but one thing you learn from Neil really quickly is that in adversity or in your toughest moments, which he is in life, there's always an opportunity. And obviously what he's been able to do for MND, the fight against the beast, he looked at what was possible and able to raise the amount of money to try and come up with a cure for the beast. And I guess for us, listening to that message, what's our opportunity and what was our darkest moment in terms of the game that we played on the weekend. It was a perfect segue and a perfect lesson from Neil to look at what's possible and the opportunity that sits in front of us.
Did he go old coach and give him a bake?
No, he's done that previously, but he's, and that's the great thing about Neil. He gives great perspective. As I said, he is a positive person and he looks at what's next, and we are as a footy club as well. We want to look at what our opportunities are and where we sit and the consistencies that we need to build.
No bigger stage, no better opportunity than to try and get your act together on King's birthday. It's a big one.
Yeah, it is. Clearly, we've got a great rivalry with Collingwood, especially in the last few years around, the type of games that we've been involved in. But, King's birthday has always been a massive game. I've got enormous respect for Collingwood in the way they play. They're a really hard team to play against and they structure up really well. So we know the challenge that sits in front of us, but it's, we need to focus on us and, what we're capable of and the way that we want to play the game.
Speaking about dark moments on the footy field, obviously nothing in comparison to the off-field, but in terms of what happened last week, don't normally see Melbourne in recent times suffer a defeat like that. How have you approached it as a coaching department, as a playing group?
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing. First thing is you need to lean into it. You need to be vulnerable and understand that's not the way we want to be seen. And the next part comes the ownership part. And the one thing that we've been able to create here over a long period of time is that when your supporters go to the game or anyone watching a Melbourne game, you know what you're going to go and watch. You're going to watch a highly competitive team that values certain elements of the game, and on the weekend we didn't do that. So we need to own that, we need to be vulnerable, we need to lean in, and we need to get back doing the things that we know we can. We haven't lost our ability, we haven't lost the unity and the peace that will drive that, but we need to create an identity that's going to be consistent, and that's what we've gone to work on this week, is to build that clarity, to build the consistency.
Do you feel like is it burning within the players and the coaching group after a performance like that? Do you feel real, or are you really calm about the whole thing? Or is there that degree of emotion to try and prove that you still got it?
I think if you're not burning after a 92 or 3 point loss, then there's something wrong. It sits in your guts. You're disappointed because you're disappointed with how it was seen and how you played. So, but we can't deal with the past. We've got to deal with what's right in front of us, and there's an opportunity that's staring us right in the face this week, and that's what we'll go after at training today and the weekend.
Is there something that we don't know about around the circumstances of last weekend? Was there illnesses through the group? Was there a particularly hard training load? Was there something that affected what happened?
Not at all. No, we just didn't perform anywhere near the level, and we'll own that. We're not a club that will make any excuses in that space.
You've got a bit away from the contest-heavy style of game, it looks like, in recent weeks. Do you need to revert back to the tried and true method, or are you set yet on what is the best tactic for you moving forward into hopefully September? Do you know that yet, or are you still working it out?
Yeah, clearly we've explored some things in our game to try and improve our game and take it to the next level, whether that be not only with method but with personnel. Contest is one thing in our game we value incredibly highly, so we've got to make sure our method aligns to that and we get back to winning that part of the game. It's part of our identity that's been really strong, and we want to get that back. So we've spent some time as coaches and with the players about what that might look like, and we'll go after that part of the game.
Discussions externally about fitness and the fitness levels and where they need to be. I know obviously there from the outside looking in, internally is everything where it has normally been in recent seasons? There's no outlier there?
I think when you lose, as I said, when you lose the way you lose, you open yourself up to criticism in every area, whether that be players, personnel, method, fitness, you name it, unity, care. People are going to challenge you on all that. That's what this industry does. So you're going to be criticised. But I'm really comfortable where this group sits. I'm really comfortable where the work the club's put in and the players have put in. and we'll get back to work, don't worry.
You spoke about how hard Collingwood is to play against. They've got a long injury list, but they strike me as the sort of club that the injury list can be a bit deceptive because they are so well structured and so well drilled. The soldiers who come in know exactly what they're doing and they're better than the sum of their parts. Is there a particular danger there with the Pies, just given how well drilled they are?
Yeah, look, clearly they're the team they are because they are well organised and they're well drilled, and they get a few players back this week, which I'm sure they'll be really happy with. But what you do know when you play Collingwood, you're going to play a very well organised and well structured team in the way they play. So it doesn't really matter, and that goes for a lot of teams. You're going to have injuries through the year. It's how you deal with them and how you keep your consistency and how you play, and that's the challenge for everyone. Changes
for you this week? Is there anything you can flag at this stage?
Jacob Van Rooyen is looking likely. We've still got a fair bit of training to get through. Obviously not playing till Monday, so big session today. So Jacob will hopefully get through that, and we'll have a pretty healthy list obviously available.
We'll go over to Zoom here. Theo, Eddie, you got anything for Goody?
Yeah, sure. G'day, Goody. Just on that criticism you mentioned, do you think it's warranted? And secondly, what would you like, from a practical point of view, I know you spoke about the contest and identity and clarity, what do you want to see from the players in terms of their response? Is it just the physical side of things, or is it a carefree style of footy? What would you want to see on Monday?
Oh, it's everything that you've spoken about. The biggest thing for us is that we value certain elements around our contest and defence in our game, and that's the biggest thing we'll be looking at on the weekend. It's something that we've been really strong at previously, but it's something we need to get back. And one thing you've seen with Melbourne over a long period of time is we compete to the highest level all the time. So that's one of the things we'll be driving internally about what we want to look like and how we go after that. So that's something we're looking forward to.
Maxie sort of said that you have to question everything when results like that come your way. Do players have a bit more clarity on what they need to do and how they like the game style and everything to roll out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you want to make sure everyone's really clear, and that's been a big part of the week, is one, we own it, that we're vulnerable and we look into it, but two is building the clarity of how we want it to look, and that's what the week's been about. And the players have been brilliant in embracing that. They're looking forward to the opportunity, and they've built the clarity, and now we go after what we need.
Lastly from me, is it too simple to say you're missing Jake Lever more than you might have thought?
Oh, everyone has injuries. The week before I thought Adam Tomlinson and Tom McDonald were outstanding. So, it certainly wasn't an issue a couple of weeks ago. And I think when you lose, as I said, everyone comes back to a whole range of things, whether that be personnel, Jake Lever, Unity Care, fitness. You open yourself up. So we've opened ourselves up as a footy to criticism. We'll lean into that. We'll embrace it. But we're pretty clear about what we need to go after.
Thanks, mate. All the best.
I'll jump in here. Thanks, Theo. Thanks, Goody. Just back to the Collingwood game. Max already said that players looking for a bit of revenge from last year's qualifying final. Has that been touched on, and also in managing the player emotion when they come face to face with Braden Maynard for the first time on the field?
Yeah, look, we certainly haven't spoken about that internally, and really worrying about the past right now isn't where we're at. We've really got to worry about what's in front of us, and it's important that we focus on us and we focus on the opportunity this week, not focus on what's happened in the past. We're not interested in that. We're interested in what we can do about this week's game, and make sure that's something that we're really proud of.
And just one on the holding the ball rule. How did you see it unfold last week, and how much clearer are you heading into Monday's game?
Well, it probably looked like when it was holding the ball, it was holding the ball. So I think they went up by about double, I think, or something like that. So, I thought it was a good adjustment. I think the players are pretty clear on what it looks like, and as is the whole industry. So I think there was some good messaging come out from the AFL about what it should look like and how it's going to be umpired, and I thought the game looked a bit better.